today's verse is 3:139, third canto, first chapter, verse 39. So we'll start with prayers first. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shritapad Shri Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupa Sagirjatam Sagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvatam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Sapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyasya cha kripa sindhu bhayeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Charine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudire Shunnutam Sakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Argantastoye Avatrani Vidunoti Swechita Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. Hare Krishna everyone. Share my screen and then read the verse. Okay, so today's verse is verse 39 from first chapter, third canto. Yamav uta stit tanayav prathayah parthair vrato akshamay vir akshiniva remata udaya Mrde Swaraktriktham Parat Suparnav Iva Vajri Vaktrat Yamavutasvit Tanaya Prathaya Parthair Vritau Pakshamabhir Akshiniva Remata Udaya Mrde Swariktam Parat Suparnav Iva Vajri Vaktrat. Synonyms. Yamav, twins, Nakul and Sahadev. Utaswit, weather. Tanayav, sons. Prathaya, of Pratha. Parthai, by the sons of Pratha. Vritao, protected. Akshamabhi, by the shields. Akshini, of the eyes. Eva, like. Remate, playing carelessly. Udaya, snatching. Mrde, in the fight. Swariktam, own property. Parat, from the enemy, Duryodhana. Suparnav, Garuda, the carrier of Lord Vishnu. Eva, like. Vajri Vriktat, from the mouth of Indra. So, translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Are the twin brothers who are protected by their brothers doing well? So these are questions by Vidurji. Are the twin brothers who are protected by the brothers doing well? Just as the eye is always protected by the eyelid, they are protected by the sons of Pritha, who snatched back their rightful kingdom from the hands of their enemy Duryodhana. Just as Garuda snatched nectar from the mouth of Indra, the thunderbolt carrier. We'll read the purport. Indra, king of heaven, carries a thunderbolt in his hand and is very strong. Yet, Garuda, the carrier of Lord Vishnu, was able to snatch nectar from his mouth. Similarly, Duryodhana was as strong as the king of heaven, and still the sons of Pritha, the Pandavas, were able to snatch away their kingdom from Duryodhana. Both Garud and Parthas are pet devotees of the Lord, and thus it was possible for them to face such strong enemies. Vidura's inquiry was about the youngest brothers of the Pandavas, namely Nakul and Sahdev. These twin brothers were sons of Madri, the stepmother of the Pandavas. But although they were stepbrothers, because Kunti took charge of them after the departure of Madri with her husband Maharaj Pandu, Nakul and Sahdev were as good as the other three Pandavas, namely Yudhishthir, Bhim and Arjun. The five brothers are known in this world as regular brothers. The three elder Pandavas took care of the younger brothers just as the eyelid takes care of the eye. Vidura was anxious to know whether, after winning back their own kingdom from the hands of Duryodhana, the younger brothers were still living happily under the care of the elder brothers. So, continuing from how that the verses have been going on, so Vidurji is back after the war, and then he is asking about the brothers of the Pandavas. So, the previous sessions, the previous classes, we heard about Yudhishthir, Bhim, Arjun. So today is asking about Nakul and Sahdev, the youngest of the five brothers. So first of all, the comparison that is given here is very nicely given. Indra, so Indra is the king of heaven, a very powerful thunderbolt carrier. He carries thunderbolt, which is a very strong weapon. Nobody survives that weapon. Very few. And still, so the comparison given is still Garud, the carrier of Lord Vishnu, was able to snatch nectar from his mouth. And the comparison given between Indra, Garud, Duryodhana, and the Pandavas here is to tell how Duryodhana was also very powerful. He was as strong as Bhim, and he had all allies, and the allies are also there with him. And then he also had the entire machinery of the state, because his father Dhritarashtra was ruling, and he was kind of ruling the kingdom as a proxy, kind of under Dhritarashtra. So the comparison given here is that just like Garuda snatched the nectar from Indra, similarly Parthas or Pandavas, Parthas means sons of Pritha or Kunti. So they were able to snatch the kingdom from Duryodhana. So one thing which is very important to learn here, and we have heard in all, we have read in different classes, in different sessions. Those who are devotees of the Lord, all the good qualities develop in them on its own. And we also read, devotees of the Lord, they don't have to, do special effort to get those good qualities. So they start developing all the good qualities all the good qualities of demigods develop in them, and then as they grow better and better in their devotional service, other qualities also start developing in them. So that is why it's said that even though the one side has all the power and machinery and individual strength as well, still those who are devotees of the Lord, they were able to surpass those powerful enemies. So a very strong comparison given and very good learning. That devotional service surpasses everything, and those who are devotees, they don't need to worry about anything. Even if there is a very formidable enemy on the other side, they would be able to surpass them. Even if there are unfavorable situations, they would be able to successfully get through them, only on the strength of devotional service. Okay, next, the next part after the comparison. Now let's talk about what Srila Prabhupada is saying about Nakul and Sahadev. So these two brothers, Nakul and Sahadev, they were sons of Madri. So Maharaj Pandu has had two wives, Maharani Kunti or Pritha. So she got the boon, and then to test that boon, she asked Lord Suryadev, and from there she got Karna. So she put Karna in a basket, and we know all that story. And she put him in the Ganges, and then we had to let him go because she was unmarried at that time. So unmarried princess having a child, it would be a big problem. So that is why she had to let Karna go. And later on, Karna also came into the war, and he became a very good friend of Duryodhan. And one of the main reasons why Duryodhan even fought the battle was on the strength of Karna, because he knew that Karna was as good as Arjun, and Arjuna was almost 50 to 60% of the power that Pandavas had because of his weaponry. The skill that he had for archery, similar skill was there with Karna as well. So one was Karna, then Maharaj Yudhishthir was born. Then we also know Bhim and Arjun were born. So these were born from Maharani Kunti. And then the other wife that Maharaj Pandu had was Madri. So Madri was daughter of Madhur Naresh. So when Maharaj Pandu had gone to fight a battle, and he won that battle. So Madhur Naresh, this used to happen in those times, that whoever goes and wins the war, the losing party or the losing king, they would, and you would see a lot of instances of that, even to safeguard their family members and everything. They used to get into a family relationship kind of thing. So the Mother Naresh married her daughter to Maharaj Pandu. Maharaj Pandu was a very brave and very powerful warrior, but because he had the story in Mahabharata is very big. So from each thing, a lot of other things will come out. I'll try and keep it to the point. So Madri was the second wife of Maharaj Pandu. So Kunti, Maharani Kunti, when she got three children, then what she did was she also told the mantra and the method or the blessing that she had. She was given a mantra. She could have children by her wish by calling a deity, a presiding demigod, one presiding demigod. So she told that to Madri as well. So she called Ashwini Kumar and there's one more, I think, I'm forgetting. So from them, she got Nakul and Sahadev as sons. And then when Maharaj Pandu he left his body, then Madri also became Sati, or she also left her body because she did not want to leave. And it used to be, you would see, we have read and we also know it used to be a tradition at that time. Wives would not survive without husbands being there. But Kunti, Maharani Kunti, she was stopped from leaving her body because of these 5 kids. So Nakul and Sadev were also handed over to Maharani Kunti to take care of them. And that is how Nakul and Sadev grew with Maharani Kunti, Yudhishthir, Bhim and Arjun as their 4th and 5th brothers. Now this was, so it says here, right, they were step brothers, but still they were taken care of like their original brothers. I mean, nobody could tell that they were not from the same mother. I mean, if you look at the way things are, even real brothers are ready to fight with each other for very small things. And here the example that we have is brothers taking care of step brothers as their own and not even differentiating even a bit. That is why Vidurji is also asking that just as the eyelid takes care of the eye, the Pandavas took care of the younger brothers. 3 elder ones took care of Nakul and Sadev. And are they still living happily under the care of their brothers? So he knew that because there is so much love between these 5, they would be under their care. And but just out of his him asking question, because he was asking about everyone. Vidurji knew everything, but still he was asking because he wanted more details. So that is why. So the love of these 5 brothers, there are a lot of stories in Mahabharata when they were going through the Agyatavas and a lot of other places in the jungle and everywhere, on how there are a lot of stories. So one story that I think I can talk quickly in 2-3 minutes before we close the class is when they went to get water, the 5 brothers, one by one. So when they were thirsty and they were in a forest while they were on Agyatavas, so first all of them went one by one, Sadev, Nakul, in that order, Arjun, Bhim, and finally Maharaj Yudhishthir went because none of the 4 came back. And when he reaches the river, when he sees that all the 4 brothers are lying on the ground on the side of the river and dead, or were appearing dead, there was no breathing or anything. Then Maharaj Yudhishthir, being Maharaj Yudhishthir, knew that there is something wrong here. Something ordinary cannot kill these 4. So then he calls the Yaksha, the Yaksh who owned that river where they were taking water. So the Yaksha came and then he asks, why did you kill them? So the Yaksha told him, Maharaj Yudhishthir, that I killed them because they were not listening to me. They did not ask my permission. I told them not to take water from here, but they still took. That is why I had to take their lives. And then this question answer goes, right, where Maharaj Yudhishthir asks, okay, what is the way in which I can get them back? So the Yaksha tells, if you answer my 5 questions correctly, then I'll give you life of one brother. So he starts answering, and then the 5 question answers go. And after he answers all the 5 questions correctly, he says, which one you want out of your brothers? Because Bhima is stronger than the strongest. He has 1,000 elephants power. Arjuna is the world's most renowned warrior. So you could get any one of them. Maharaj Yudhishthira said, no, I want Sadev. So the Yaksha was surprised. Why are you asking for Sadev? You are leaving Bhim, Arjun, who would be important for you because now you are in Agyatavas, so you might have to get into that fight with Duryodhana sometime. So why are you asking Sadev, who is not as strong or as powerful as Bhima and Arjun? So Maharaj Yudhishthir says, because I am living, I am son of Kunti, I want one son of Madri also to live. And that is why I want Sadev to live. So the Yaksha got so happy that he gave the life of all the other four. So all the four brothers got alive, and finally they all came together. So this story, small story, this just shows how much love they had for each other, and especially how Maharaj Yudhishthir, Bhim, Arjun, they took care of Nakul and Sadev like their own brothers. There was not even a distinction, even a smallest, and sometimes even better, or he would look at them even more carefully than Bhim and Arjun. So the learning from this is we should look at the story and see how brothers should be living and how to take care of youngers and the love and affection. Finally, I think in this purport, the biggest learning I would say is that the comparison between Garud and Parthas, or the sons of Pritha, the five Pandavas, and that devotional service and how devotees develop all the qualities, I think that is the biggest learning at least I am able to get from this. I think that is what I had to share based on learning and some lectures that I heard on this. If there's anything to correct or anything wrong, feel free to correct. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Anyone has any comment or any question or anything to discuss, we can do that now. We have a couple of minutes. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for bringing so many beautiful points through this verse. I was really feeling very intrigued by this Mahabharata. In one way, we hear that it's meant for, lower intelligent class, but on the other way, how expertly Srila Vyasadeva put all these dharmic principles so beautifully. And at the same time, it's like very connecting. If we hear, the other day hearing this Yudhana Satyakis thing, it feels like, kind of a movie story. But at the same time, this relationship and the immense respect they have for each other is like unimaginable. And as you were explaining, this really struck for me as the eyelid taking care of the eye. We can only visualize and how much care, at the blink of the thing, something coming to the eye, immediately the eyelid closes. Such a protective thing. So somehow, as you're speaking, I was just thinking in devotee community, the care and respect for each other. We may have our differences and whatnot. We were having this discussion. But if we have this underlying respect and care and love for each other, I think it's going to be like spiritual world, actually. So somehow, as you're speaking, that point was coming out very strongly for me. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
A very good point, Swati. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, within, and it's very difficult to imagine. So we all had our non-devotee community friends as well. I mean, I also have few of them. Once in a while, I go to meet them as well. But then immediately the contrast strikes. You go there and there is so much contrast, and then you realize, okay, that is not the right place. You have to pull back from it. uh, uh, so this is definitely very different. It's all gift of Srila Prabhupada that we are all together. The other day I was discussing with someone. I was just wondering, while all this teachings and learnings and everything that Srila Prabhupada gave, that is there, one of the biggest gifts that we have, and the power or strength also that we have as a family, is this extended ISKCON family that we have. The devotees, that everywhere you go, you find devotees. The devotees who take care of you in any situation, every situation. That is not found in anywhere. We cannot find it anywhere, and they all, and we personally saw it. We were here in Naperville, then we went to India for a couple of months. When we came back, we went to Connecticut. So we hardly knew anyone in there. Again, it's gone, the devotee family. And again, we came back here. So it's all, you brought a very good point, Mathil. So all devotees care, makes life so easy and so simple. Otherwise, it's very difficult. This path that we are on, it's very difficult without the devotees, without their care and the community that we have.
That's very, Prabhu. Just an extension to that. In the beginning, all of us receive such a tangibly, kind of a 180-degree opposite care and love, and the kind of whole energy and vibration in the devotee community is so different. I don't know if you were part of yesterday's discussion, but as we continue our relationships more and more, cut off with the rest of the non-devotee. As of now, they may become devotees one day. But we associate more and more with the devotees. So all the purification and everything comes through these relationships itself. And then we may focus on those differences and be boggled down by the pain of that purification. We may start seeing, some kind of issues and questions and whatnot. The offenses also can start coming. So I'm really appreciating you bringing this perspective. I think once in a while, maybe we have to go and associate with the outside world, or at least remember and remind ourselves honestly how grateful we have to be, how fortunate we are to have this kind of association. Then, it can bring us out from that whatever thing that's bothering us. Take a step, bird's eye view, and look at it from that perspective. And, what Srila Prabhupada has done and he has given. It's very wonderful. I mean, just this part of association as you brought up. Yeah, thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mathil. Anyone has any other points? Otherwise, we're good to close the class.
Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So what I would like to add to what Amritakali Mataji said, it is not only amongst ourselves in the group, existing group, it is it's coming down the Guru Parambara, like Srila Prabhupada was able to directly get the instructions from Jiva Goswami and Rupa and Jiva Goswamis in the dream. And then similarly, Srila Prabhupada always felt the association of his spiritual master. And today being Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj's appearance day, we can think of that. We can think of that, the disciplic succession and how the mercy is coming down always. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mata.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
So you are thinking about associating the non-devotees, just associate with me and you should be able to understand. That should be enough. You don't have to go look for a non-devotee friends or something. So if you associate me, all those qualities are with me. You can refine your quality. So what I mean to say is, water, if you pour water, it tends to go down. If you just take a tumbler of water and just turn the tumbler, because of the gravity, the water flows down. So what happens is, our consciousness, especially our mind, is always, there is two ways. One is going down and down and down. Say, suppose if I don't chant, suppose if I don't read Srimad Bhagavatam or hear Bhagavatam, my consciousness will go down and down and down, and my mind will start controlling me, and then I listen to the mind more and more and more. That means it's the mind that's making us going down and down and down, just like a gravity flow, what water does. So the water flows down. What do? If they want to lift the water up, right? The water goes down. So there is a waterfall, water goes down, and they want to lift up the water. They have a yantra which will lift the water up. Similarly, for our consciousness, for mind, when it goes down, the only yantra for us is the Krishna mantra, which will lift up in our consciousness, in our mind. In that way, we can be up to the mark. We don't go. It's difficult to go above the mark. At least come to that zero gravity. At least come to that level of understanding. That way, Krishna mantra, manastrayate iti mantra, that will help us to at least realize what we are doing. Right? So that's most important. The only for us is the devotee association and the hearing and the chanting. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you. Okay. Any other comments? Very good point, Balaram Prasad, Prabhu. I think we are good to close the class. 8:08. So, Vanchakalpatarubhasya Kripasindhubhayavcha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Pindiki Jai.